Hello everyone, my name is Dillon Hillis. I just graduated from the University of Florida. I'm a multiple-time SEC champion, an NCAA champion, and I'm training in your pool as I prepare for the upcoming Olympic trials. Yeah. I'm also starting my career in motivational speaking, and Coach Jeff gave me the privilege and opportunity to speak in front of you all today as you embark on another incredible season. So prior to speaking today, I went up to Coach Jeff and I said, what would you like me to talk about with your team? And he brought up your core values and vision. And I gotta say, you guys are headed in the right direction. It's truly special, the team philosophies that you have in place right now. But my goal today, however, is not to talk about your team's core values and vision, but to talk about the one fundamental idea at the heart of your team's ideology. And in doing so, fully inspire you to believe in your team's potential. That one idea is balance. Balance has played an extremely important role in my life and has helped me in my darkest moments. So today I'll be sharing with you two stories that truly show the power of balance. My first story has to do with my heart condition. I was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia, pretty long name, on my 13th birthday. It's otherwise known as SVT for short. I was coming home after school one day, sitting on the couch, and my heart rate skyrocketed to 220 beats per minute. First, I thought it was a panic attack. So me and my parents, we walked the streets of New York trying to calm me down. 1 hour turned into two turned into three, and it was time to go to the hospital. Nearly 7 hours later, the doctors were able to give me the precise medication that broke my rapid heartbeat. That day changed the trajectory of my life forever. The doctors said that having a sustained heart rate for that long was like running a marathon lying in bed. And so the next day, the doctors informed me what my heart condition would entail. I would either have heart palpitations, which is an extra or skipped beat, or I'd go into a rapid heartbeat, which I just explained. And the year proved to do just that. I had hundreds of heart palpitations. I was in and out of the hospital dozens of times. It got so bad that in the summer of 2014, I had my first heart surgery. It was unsuccessful, and around 24 hours later, I was back in the hospital with a rapid heart rate. And so the next year proved to be just as tumultuous as the first one. I started going to atrial fibrillation. For those who don't know, it's a different heart rate rhythm than your normal sinus one, and it's extremely dangerous if unchecked. The first time I went into AFib, I was in it for 3 days. Those were a long 3 days. And so I was in the hospital dozens of times again the following year. And so in the summer of 2015, I had my second heart surgery. Let me pause for a second and explain to you what my heart surgery was. It was an ablation surgery, and the goal was to locate the affected area and zap the scar tissue away to block any irregular electrical signals. Now, prior to my second heart surgery, during the second year of my heart condition, I developed a form of hyperventilation and breathing technique that allowed me to slow my heart rate down. What I also found out was it caused me to have heart palpitations and go into sometimes irregular rhythms. So I told the doctors this, and they thought it'd be a great idea for me to be awake during my second heart surgery so they can help locate the area better. And sure enough, I was awake during my second heart surgery. I felt my heart get zapped 19 times, and I remember each one to this day. The second heart surgery was also unsuccessful. I was back in the hospital another day later, and I still live with my heart condition today. I take medicine on a daily basis, but thankfully it's lessened a little. But I'm thankful for the hand that I was dealt, because it brought me perspective beyond my years. At 13 years old, I learned the true power of balance and how to gain strength from the world around me when it seemed like it was falling apart. So when I was 13 years old, I became an athlete. I became a swimmer. I immersed myself in my team culture, in the pool, and with my teammates and coaches around me. And I gained strength from that. And it seemed that my heart condition wasn't as bad because of the people I was around. And balancing my focus and energies allowed me to fight what I thought I couldn't fight, and allowed me to keep on going. I would not let one thing define me, nor would I let my heart condition define me. And sure enough, a year later from my second heart surgery, I made Olympic trials at 15 years old. And that was the goal that me and my coach set out to do. It allowed me to have the freedom to choose that I was going to be a successful athlete. Balance became my way of life. Let me share with you my second story now. It was my sophomore year of college, and it was my breakout year in the NCAA. At SEC championships, I swam the 100 breast in prelims, and I broke the pool record in the morning, was seeded first at night, and I was now fourth in the country. I was more confident than I'd ever been in my life, more ready to get my hand on the wall first than I'd ever been in my life. So finals happened, and I added a half a second and got third. I was so angry. I couldn't believe the result. What happened? What went wrong? I didn't know. And it bothered me for hours and days on end after the race. But as any athlete does, I turned the page. I focused my energies on NCAAs in a month. And sure enough, as we all know, in 2020, NCAAs was canceled. So I had no redemption shot and no redo for a full year. So I had a lot of time to think about that one race. And I obsessed. I thought about everything I could have done differently. From the practices I could have trained harder, to the heavier weights I could have lifted, to the meals I could have eaten healthier. Everything became a complete obsession, and it controlled my life. But after months of self-reflection, I was finally able to figure out what went wrong that night and why I didn't have a good swim. It was the same reason I couldn't stop obsessing over it. It was because I was not balanced. And my sole identity as a 21-year-old man was I was a swimmer and I was an athlete. I didn't know who I was outside the pool. So I made one goal for myself heading into my junior year of college. What made Dillon Hillis himself outside of his sport. And so I did it. I picked up every hobby I could. I took 3 rock and roll classes. I'm a huge rock and roll history buff. I started pressing flowers and giving them to gifts as friends and family. I picked up guitar. I even wrote a movie blog. And I love comic books, so I read a lot of comic books. I stopped writing notebooks full of swim practices and started writing notebooks full of positive affirmations, thoughts, and ideas. And next year, at SEC championships, I won 3 SEC championships, including one of them in the 100 breast. And I got 2 NCAA runner-up place finishes, including one of them in the 100 breast. I blew away all my expectations for what I thought was possible because I learned I was balanced and I was happy outside of my sport. And so, balance became finding balance on a daily basis, no matter the environment, allowed me to have 2 more successful years of college, where I achieved my dream of becoming a multiple-time NCAA champion and a 2-time NCAA record holder. So I'd like to close on this note. Balance is not something you achieve, but it's a state in which you live in. Living a balanced life takes consistent work as well as being introspective in your thoughts and ideas. Balance to me when I was 13 years old was very different from balance as a 21-year-old man. At 13 years old, going through a heart condition, balance to me was my sport and my goals. the balance as a 21-year-old man and a top athlete in the NCAA, balance to me was what made me happy outside of the pool. And today, as I'm chasing after one of my biggest dreams of becoming an Olympian, balance to me lies with my 5-month-old puppy and starting my career in motivational speaking. So I urge you to embrace the balance of your team philosophies. Chase after your swimming goals while seizing your life goals. Use this platform you have right now to achieve your most ambitious life dreams. And just remember, when you're standing at the end of the blocks for your big race at the end of the year, you should not only be confident in your swimming abilities, but the growth you took as an individual since the start of the season. And I can assure you great things will happen. Thank you.